Guys, I want to welcome you to another episode of the Franchise Advisory Board, where we bring in experts from around the franchise community that are going to help you know the building blocks for a successful, thriving franchise brand. Now, I've had Russ on before. It's actually been several years, Russ. So I'm grateful to have Russ Burnett, founder, CEO of Online Image and several other cool companies that involve AI and smart stuff. I call it, this is my friend Russ. He's the mad scientist of the franchise marketing industry. So 20 years in industry, uh, he's been leveraging AI in marketing for over like 12, 13 years now before most people even thought it was a thing. And then, but there's something really fascinating about Online Image. They are, they've been in the industry for a long time, but they're the highest ROI digital marketing firm in franchising. So, and it's such a core part of their value set. They actually put ROI on each invoice to their clients.
Yeah.
That's pretty ballsy. I actually think that's really cool, man. Because I don't know of anybody else who does that. So I'm excited that you're here, Russ. Why don't I let you tell us a little bit more about you? Tell us about Online Image, and we're going to jump into our topic today, which is about all about like what's the truth and the mythology around what's happening with AI and search and digital marketing. It's going to be cool. So Russ, take it away for a minute. Tell us about you. Tell us about Online Image.
Yeah, no, thanks, Dave. I appreciate you having me on again too. I always enjoy hanging out with you. No, online image. We've been doing this for 17 years, 18 years now, and it's a different angle. We use a lot of technology and a lot of data to make our decisions. We're just very data driven. The ROI and the invoice thing was an idea 6 years ago. We started because we found that a lot of CFOs wouldn't cancel a return, but they definitely cancel a bill. And so we made ourselves a positive every time they see that come through the mail. So that was kind of our concept there. But yeah, I mean, that's a little bit about us.
Yeah, well, and so Russ, today the topic is about what's really going on right now with AI, with SEO, and first, like, tell us a little bit about like how do you see AI affecting what's going on with Google right now?
Sure. Well, I mean, first off, we've seen them trying to do this for a while. So one of the things we do is track all of the bots that are hitting our sites, and we saw it clear back in like 2020. We started seeing a lot of these AI search bots starting to hit and starting to index and try to tinker around within the websites. And so we've seen it going on quite a bit. But I think what we're approaching right now is another one of these times. And I mean, like I said, I've been in this space for a minute. Every 2 years, you hear SEO is dead. It's on its way out the door, right? Content marketing is all that works, or SEO is dead. It doesn't do this, right? We're always hearing the same kind of story, and we're hearing the story again with AI overviews and searches like that. So, or with those types of searches. So, yeah, we're hearing a lot about that.
Yeah, so I mean, talk about the mechanics there. We've got what one, can we just both just refute the claim that SEO is dead? Like there's no like it just feels like it's such a foolish concept. I feel like it's just a hype phrase that everyone who's trying to sell AI services is maybe using, but why would you squash that concept that SEO is dead?
I mean, first off, it's what built Google in the first place, organic search, right? I mean, people enjoy it. We know the majority of consumers don't like to use paid search. They don't trust it. They know you don't have to have a reputation. So organic search is always going to be something that's around. What it's done is its value has just changed recently. And that's all that's happened is it's changed. It's not gone by any means. And that's where it leads directly into AI searches is these AI, you know, I think this is one of the things that's kind of funny, right? AIs and humans are so much alike, we don't realize it. AI and a human learn the same way. We read and consume data. The only difference is the AI can't leave your screen. You can walk into a library, or I can see your emotions, things like that that the AI can't see. But as far as the AI's knowledge base goes, it learns just like you do, Dave. It goes and does research, it reads, and then it provides answers based on that knowledge. It just does it really, really fast. And so in the case of SEO's value changing, first off, AI overviews aren't in all searches right now. They're in many of them, but not all of them. And then secondly, when you do see an AI overview search, if you are looking for a business, I challenge you, tell me how many times those results in the AI overview are not in your top 5 results on Google. You're not going to find it.
Mhm.
So as much as it's changed, it's really kind of stayed the same.
Yeah, it really the value of SEO just it moved into a different sector, right? Like now the AI bots are scraping the good SEO, and they're pulling it into their zero click search results, right? It's you're still fueling to a large degree what's now powering consumer research and behavior. At least that's how I perceive it.
Yeah. Well, and if you notice too, the AI search results, the zero click concept, that's informational only. When you look at business searches, there are still clicks in the AI overviews. You can click off to the websites. It's going to get
Mhm.
you there. Not only that, they've also added another section off to the right-hand side of the AI overview that has other websites that talk about their sources. And so, I mean, yeah, it's still a click system, like it or not. I know the zero click thing is a cool concept, but it's not zero click when it comes to finding a business.
Yeah, so talk to me about that. So zero click, it feels like it kind of splits, right? If I'm just doing an informational search, like I just want to know like what is franchising all about? What are some good franchising concepts? But I'm not like saying which franchise should I buy? For let's talk frandev for a minute.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, let's talk frandev. I mean, a lot of people are doing more research online and they are looking at the AI overviews when they do searches. Once again, you'll see biz buy sell in a lot of those AI overview searches because they are ranking really well in a lot of those.
mhm.
But those consumers have also done a lot more research. So we see a lot higher converting customer. We see somebody who's more ready to buy, even in a franchise or another product at home. But we do see it's a very different consumer now when they are utilizing the AI overviews, and it's changed the game a lot.
Yeah, and it feels like Russ, like this is reminiscent of like the zero moment of truth, the white paper that Google published, what, like 15 years ago now? Like it's the same concept. Consumers are becoming incredibly more informed than they used to be,
Yeah,
right? And so they're researching everything before they ever come to my website, before they ever go to your website. They're looking for the best franchise marketing digital agency. They're doing that research 90% of it before they ever hit your page. And
totally.
where they would maybe hover in the Google search results and maybe look at some blogs or ranking things. Maybe they'd hop on your page to learn more about you and what you do. Now they just use AI to scrape that data anyway, but they weren't going to convert in that top of funnel research phase anyway. In fact, if you did, you gate content too early or things like that, you're getting unqualified high funnel leads that are never going to convert anyway. So the consumers were annoyed by that, which is why content gating went away.
Yeah,
So
totally.
yeah.
And I mean, if you look at AI searches right now, 88 to 90% of them are informational. So while that could be very favorable for franchise development, for consumer facing franchise or business to consumer franchises, it's actually that only like a lot of them are jumping ahead, right? I work with a lot of home service brands. They're like, the only thing that matters now is AI overviews. 88 to 90% of all AI overview searches are informational.
Yeah.
So they're giving up everything for this 12% of potential business. Now, if we take out people who are under the age of 35, well, there goes the other 60% of that 12% that's left. And so now you're down to about 7% of all searchers are homeowners looking for a business. And I've got a lot of brands who are just really doing amazing in the AI overviews. I mean, they do really, really well. The conversion rate from the leads that come from AI overviews, they're crazy good. They're over 23% is the lowest I've seen. So everything is over 23% coming from AI overview,
Well,
but it's still not even 1% of all their visitors.
yeah. Yeah.
And
And Russ, where are the rest of the visitors coming from typically?
vast majority of those are organic, direct, but a lot of organic as well. So especially when they're working with us.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just so you know, like we see similar trends even from like the franchise industry supplier side. There was a period of time we had a slightly higher number of like Chat GPT, and we saw Claude, we saw and Perplexity. Perplexity for a while was actually really doing well, and it seems like it's kind of sliding into obsolescence. It's not as busy as it was, but those are referral sources that we get on our site, but it's a small percentage of our traffic. Majority of it is organic. Still,
Yeah.
yeah. But that
Well,
doesn't mean we shouldn't be building out content schemas and creating authoritative content that AI is going to be excited about. Like that, we should absolutely should do that because as Russ just showed, that's like one of the higher converting channels. But SEO is not dead, as it turns out.
no, and I mean, your website now is more important than ever for AI overviews because unlike Google, that's indexing and storing all your information and keeping it, AI is not storing all your information. It's
Mhm.
reading a lot of it real time.
Hmm.
And so as the customer is doing the search. And so what we're also seeing is having a website that's structured very clean and very organized. Don't talk about the same thing on multiple pages of your website. It confuses the AI on what page to grab. Have a page that's an expert in each thing that you do. We also recommend putting your FAQs on the page about that topic. So rather than having one big page of FAQs, have your FAQs about service one on the service one page, and the FAQs about service two on the service two page. That way, the AI knows exactly where to get the answers. And then when your customers are doing searches, you're going to be much more favorable for it to dig through because it doesn't have to dig as much. We know it costs a lot of money for AI to read stuff. We hear about the data usage, data centers, water waste. Like we hear about all these things. It's not going to go through and read your entire blog to find one answer,
Yeah.
especially if you've been blogging for 6 years.
Yeah. Well, I guess part of this is you're building your web design, maybe thinking more like an AI, right? Like how is the AI trying to consume data? But it's very much like how you and I consume data, right? I'm not going to go to a website and immediately go to the blog and start pouring through their posts. I'm actually going to try to read the on-page content, and if it's hard to find the answer, I'm probably going to bounce. That's how I
Yeah,
am.
just like an AI. If an
Yeah.
AI can't find the answer quickly, they're going to bounce. And that's exactly what we're starting to see. So I think if we start simplifying it, and there's a lot of vendors out there and a lot of people who are overcomplicating some of what we believe, we feel that there's a lot of that going on. But it's a lot more simple than that. It's really just making it easy for somebody to get to, just like you would a human.
Yeah. So, what are some of the things that you recommend then? Like if I'm thinking about my website and franchise websites are even more complicated than let's say my website or yours, but like what are some of the key things if I'm going to try to make my website more AI friendly so an AI can consume it better so it can then cite it and regurgitate this out in its summaries and zero click summaries. Like what should I be doing now to make my website a little more friendly?
We have five major factors that we look at in AI overviews or ranking well in AI. The first one is search engine indexes. You have to rank. That's the number one factor in AI. It has to be able to find you, or else it's not going to find you. Number two is your website content has to be structured. I know there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm going to go create linking articles and whatnot off of knowledge graphs," and those are very important. But if your website isn't structured right, once again, it negates all the other things you're doing. And so you've got to have a very well structured website. Trusted sources are so important. And you guys, trusted sources mean trusted, not just random post on your friend's website or whatever. We want to have, a BBB listing. I know a lot of people don't like the Better Business Bureau, but AI does, so we need to get over it. Like, you know what I mean? A Wikipedia page is extremely valuable. You can't create your own Wikipedia page, but it is extremely valuable to have one. And so trusted sources are a big one. Knowledge graphs are another one. I have a home inspection brand we work with, and it was funny. We were doing an AI search with their CEO the other day, and the AI said, their brand, hey, this is a great company. This is who you might want to work with. But one of the downsides with working with franchises in general is they're using subcontractors and don't actually do the service. And the CEO is like, that's not true. That's not how we do business. Knowledge graphs. It's not having the right knowledge. You can sway what the AI is going to say about you by combating the way it talks about you in the first place. And then the last is training data, making sure that your FAQs are on the pages they belong. I mean, I have so many business owners that are like, no, I have to have an FAQ page. AI is not going to go read thousands of FAQs to find the one the customer looked for. It's going to go to the page about the topic and look at the FAQ there. And
Mhm.
so it is about getting those things organized in a way that they're easily accessible.
Yeah. Well, that seems like a pretty straightforward process to make sure that we're getting a structure right, recalibrating. If you got a 20-year-old website, obviously there's a lot of work to do there. Yeah.
Totally. Totally. And the age of the website is a big one too that we're seeing. If it's older technologies and it's slower to load and things like that, you're definitely not going to be considered on those AI overviews.
Yeah. Just because, like you or I, if we were trying to get an answer to something and it's taking us a long time to find it, we're going to bounce because we're ADHD and so is AI, right?
Yep, absolutely. So, yeah, but I think we are. I mean, overall, we are starting to see a change. I mean, Google's shifting the layout of page one. Organic is being pushed down further on the page in a lot of results.
Mhm.
Um, so once again, those organic results are what we're starting to see in those AI overviews, though. So it's just really about maintaining that. And then, like I said, staying on topic is another thing I think a lot of brands struggle with,
Mhm.
especially when they're blogging. They like to be an expert in everything in their industry.
Yeah.
right? Um, one of my brands in senior care ranks in AI overview search when you search great things to do for Grandma's Day. Um, how many of those people became a customer? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's a very vague search. But when you're ranking for something like that, you're taking away a good word you could be ranking for, like senior care placements, or
Mhm.
how do I pick the best home for my mom
Yeah.
instead of what to do during Grandma's Day. And so stay on topic is also extremely important with AI. AI doesn't want experts in all things. They want experts of what you're an expert at, not a jack of all trades.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, so let's talk a little bit, Russ. Let's take a step back. So franchise brands. Let's walk through maybe a couple of examples. You've shared some really good ones already about home service brands. If I'm a home service brand and I'm trying to build, let's say you mentioned like trusted sources, Better Business Bureau. Like what are some of the things that a home service brand ought to be doing that's going to help them start to get more citations? I know citations are really important for the bots, right? Like what are some things that as you're measuring your if you've got SEMrush or something you can see how many times am I being cited? Like, what are ways that people can improve the way that the bots are perceiving them and their authority and trust as well?
So I mean, your citations are a good one, right? But I mean, a lot of those are your business directories and things like that, where you can update your description on those or whatnot. Uh, we did industry expert magazines are another really good cited source. So I did a search that I felt like we should have ranked for in AI the other day, and it didn't even mention us. And I'm
Hmm.
like, you piece of garbage, why didn't you mention us?
Uh-huh.
And the AI says, oh, my bad. Now that I'm looking at them, yeah, they're probably the top selection, but they weren't mentioned in any of these types of articles, and that's why I didn't notice them. And you can ask the AI why it didn't mention you,
Hmm.
and it's going to give you an idea of what some other things are that you could do to try to get mentioned. But I think those industry expert sources are a really, really important one as well.
Yeah, and those are, I mean, a lot of that's going to be PR. It's going to be finding out who owns it, trying to have them update the article. Like that can be a lot of work. I mean, those are things that we work on as well. Every now and then, like we'll do a search for like best franchise CRM, and it will come right up. And sometimes it doesn't. I'm like, what is this source? And I look, I don't even know who that is. Like, how did they get that cited by the AI? That's insane, you know? So
Well,
yeah,
this is the other thing that's really tough, and especially for business owners and CEOs hate this. This is like the worst thing I can ever say to them is that the AI is not going to always answer the same.
hmm
All
yeah.
you can do is be in the rotation of brands they talk about, but it's never going to always answer it the exact same way. So you're not always going to be number one like you can with other things. You can't just buy it there. Now, one thing that we are seeing though that does lead to that kind of topic is we are. I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of this or if you've seen this, Dave, but have you seen the paid ads now for AI? You can
Yeah, actually, so here's an ironic story about pay, and I'll let you riff because you know more about this. So they first came out like OpenAI, ChatGPT. They're like, hey, we now have paid ads. So I used ChatGPT and said, hey, I'm investigating this. Tell me a little bit like what should I do? How should I approach it? Give me a summary of it first. Like I gave it a pretty good prompt and let it rip, and it was like, well, this is how it works. I don't think you should waste your money on it. And I was like, like ChatGPT just told me not to give ChatGPT money. Like that's freaking hilarious. So, so tell us like what do you know about the paid ads program and maybe ways we could somebody who how when should somebody leverage it? When should they not? How about that?
Yes, I mean for right now, I mean, it's reasonably new. I know some have been doing it for a minute, but there hasn't been enough test data on it to actually see how it works. We are trying it right now. We are going to do some paid ads and do some tests on ourselves, and then we also have a brand we're going to sponsor and pay for their ads so we can do some testing on them. But I think what we'll see there is kind of the same thing you're going to see with Google and paid ads, right? Is if the customer's not searching, or eventually at some point they realize it's paid, it's going to lower its value. It doesn't seem to be as important to the customer, and so you're still going to have 80% of people or so that would prefer to go with something they trust rather than something that's paid to be in front of their face. So that's what I'm guessing is going to happen, but I am totally just guessing right now, Dave. I'm predicting what I think we're going to see from it at least initially, and go from there.
Yeah,
I just
well,
know, especially when it comes to the decision making that some brands do, like, I've got senior care up on my screen right now, right? I mean, like, I'm not going to trust a paid ad with my mom,
right. Right.
right? I mean,
Uh-huh.
a Google guaranteed ad, at least I know they did a background check and they gave their insurance, but I'm not going to trust a paid ad with my mom. And therefore, that's why I always feel those organic results inside of the AI overviews are also going to still be the highest converting when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, and to me, it also I think it determines it's going to be determined by how in line those ads are. Because like right now, the paid ads, like unless you're paying attention, sometimes you don't know is this a sponsored ad or is this an organic search result? Google does a good job of layering that now, so you can't actually tell. It's harder to see. You know,
Totally. Um, is it okay? Can I share my screen on one of these just to kind of show you some overviews?
sure, yeah. So this will be yeah. Share your screen, and it's very a lot of this will be on the podcast audio only, but just be descriptive as you're talking about what you show. I'm totally down with that.
Yeah, so I mean, we're just talking about senior care, right? So first and foremost, this is a newer brand with us. They've only been with us for about 6 or 7 months, but they're doing really, really well so far. The brand we're working with here is Assisted Living Locators.
Mhm.
You can see my franchisee. We have her face up here, so she stands out. She's a little bit more visible right off, and you can see the AI overview loves it and throws it up there. She's
Hmm.
also mentioned right here to where, yes, indeed, there is a click. I know this is supposed to be zero click, but they've got a click in here for me to where I can jump off to her site from there. The other thing you'll notice too, though, is Oasis, a place for mom, and Senior Care Authority are the other ones here. Off to this right-hand side, our customer is cited twice. We see Senior Care Authority, we see these other results here. But you'll also notice that these are these same ones that are right here. And so to kind of validate that point that we were discussing about having a strong organic presence equaling that, those top 5 results are these top 5 results right here.
Mhm. Yeah.
And we're seeing that across the board. I mean, here's one. This is kind of interesting because the organic result actually came up above the map. So
Yeah.
that's not a paid ad.
Yeah, and Russ, give me 1 second just to I want to do like a verbal walkthrough of what we just
All
saw.
right.
So inside the AI overview in Google that sits above all the search results, there's off to the side there were like 5 different results that were linking directly to essentially the top 5 SEO results down below.
Yeah.
And they were also the same people that were being linked to essentially in the same search. And the search was senior care advisor in Alexandria, Ohio, just so you guys
Mhm.
know kind of what we're looking at. And so it actually pulled up, one of the clients he'd been working with and a picture of them, a picture of the woman who ran the franchise. And he was just highlighting that the AI likes being able to pull those images in as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave. And I need to get better at that descriptive thing. So
That's okay. Well, I'm the host.
we'll go to this next one here. So in
yeah.
this case, I did a search for fascia repair in North Chattanooga. I've got up here at the top organic result in this case showed up above Google Maps with the brothers that just do gutters, who is our client there. We can also see, though, up in the AI overview, we've got Mr. Handyman of Chattanooga. We also have the brothers that just do gutters of Chattanooga.
Hmm.
We have the brothers who do gutters off to the side, once again, pulling them up as a cited source. And this is, again, where we're going to see a lot of the same results that you will see in the top spots down here.
Hmm.
You'll see in the same results down inside of here. Roof Nurse, Yelp, those are paid in the middle, but these other brands are organic there. And so we can see that, there's a heavy, heavy weight now that organic is going to flood over to what you're seeing up here.
Yeah. Again, if you haven't noticed it, guys, do a Google search and then for a service in your area, and you'll see that. Now, if that's if it's not like a local service, it doesn't really do that for like software or B2B tech, or at least I haven't seen it do the same thing.
I think it depends on how you're searching for it. So CRM systems, CRMS, I don't know what I did there.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, but so because for the searches that I typically do, guys, I'll be looking for like a best franchise CRM or things like that, just to see kind of how Google is consuming us. But I don't typically see a sidebar. But there, you got one now. Is it
There we
because
go.
are you in AI mode?
I switched over, but this is the AI overview. So I still see my sidebar here.
Okay.
You'll
There you
see
go.
Salesforce and whatnot in there. I think a lot of times when you're doing something like best in your search or a descriptor in front of it, the AI now sees that as a learning term.
Hmm.
And it's going to kind of shift the way it's providing you those results where it doesn't think you're looking for an actual business. And this goes to consumer intent, which is one of our biggest focuses, right? As whenever we work with a brand, the very first thing we go after is what are the highest intent keywords? And then we work backwards rather than starting with the easiest thing to rank for and work forward.
Yeah, a really good idea. There's longer t the longer tail, as long as there's some search volume, can be the ones that convert at the highest rate, right? Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that.
and I mean, we're seeing a lot of tools like SEMrush now has an AI overview mention thing that it's showing you. Just remember with those tools, if it's not being searched, it's not counting it. So
Mhm.
probably rank for a lot of things that you don't even see that are on there, but it starts to give you an idea of what's going on. But then I highly recommend looking into your Google Analytics and seeing how many of your searchers are coming from the AI overviews. Because like I said, I've got brands that just dominate AI overviews across the entire markets. And we're still seeing it as only 1% of those visitors, especially in home services.
Yeah, well, and that's because this is the top of funnel, the search. The search, I'm in my information gathering phase. I'm early consideration, but I'm not really narrowed down to top solutions yet, nor maybe do I have budget for things. So I love that you bring those points to the forefront. Thanks a lot.
Other tips I would say too is we have to speak. I know a lot of our writers, content writers and stuff. They love to be super creative and paint the story and whatnot. AI is very literal. We,
Mhm.
we we have to start our first part of our websites with what we do specifically and how we help you,
Mhm.
and then you can go into all the fluff and all the stuff you want to do afterwards. But being really direct, AI is like a 9-year-old that knows everything. It just wants to know exactly what it is that's going on. It's not going to catch all your insinuations or things like that you put into your writing.
Yeah, how do you balance that though? Because SEO is actually more, it's interested in readability and value and things like that, where it feels like if you oversimplify for AI, you're going to impact maybe your readability for SEO. Do you feel like there's a bit of a conflict between the two?
I don't think there's a conflict. I think it's just a shift. So the way we're kind of doing things now is that first paragraph, that first H tag in our websites is going to be just very clearly descriptive on what we do, and then I'm still going to get all my SEO content in below that on the page. We can see with like a lot of the AI crawlers when they're hitting the sites that if the top part of your page doesn't change sometime, it's not going to read the rest of the page ever. So refreshing your content from time to time too, just a little bit to help it kind of see some different things is really important.
Oh,
But
well.
after a while, it will just grab what it needs out of it and then leave.
But the same thing holds true for SEO, right? Like they regularly need to do some updates, some tweaks, refresh an H1 header. Like those things have always kind of, well, not always, but in the last couple of years have become more important for Google still, right? Just on SEO.
Yeah, they are all the way around. And like I said, there's a lot of similarities in the way all these are working too. So we're definitely see a lot more of that. The thing I see people make the most mistakes with though is once again, overcomplicating it, right? They're trying to put special tags into their site code and things like that. There is no documentation from any AI provider that says those tags are valid. Their theories, their ideas, their things people are trying. But if everybody else who is ranking on the AI overview does not have that code in their site, why are you trying to stuff it?
Interesting.
Um, Spammy backlinks are another thing I'm starting to see people do again. We did this already with SEO, you guys. We went and bought a whole bunch of backlinks. Google found out we were buying backlinks and you would get suspended. Well, we're doing the same thing with SEO articles. And
Yeah.
eventually there's going to be a penalty, and eventually you're going to get suspended for it. Like it's going to be
Mhm.
the same thing. So I also know that a lot of people are hurting themselves in the process of trying to, you know, figure out this thing the way it is right now.
Yeah, well, do you mind riffing for a second, Russ? Because you see how this all works from the inside. And I mean, guys, Russ didn't say this, but like he's had bots crawling websites and checking search engine performance for how many years now, Russ?
17 years. We have I think we're up to 100 and well, I guess it would be I don't even know what it is over 100, but it's like 116 terabytes of queryable data on
Yeah. And so the reason I bring that up is because I remember when I first met you years ago, we were talking about this, and you're like, dude, I know when Google changes its algorithms because of the way that my data set works and the way that I can query it. And like, so you just see what's working. I love that about your experience, your brain, and what you guys provide in the industry. Like, no wonder you're okay putting ROI on your invoices. But with that in mind, what would you say the how is paid becoming more relevant again? Because it feels like with some of the changes recently that have been going on with SEO, it almost is like Google's trying to scramble everybody's ability to master SEO so you're forced into paid. Not saying that's the strategy, but I think it is. But anyway, what's how important is paid now with both SEO and does it have any impact on AEO on AI stuff?
Yeah. So I'll expose a little of our secret here. So we will crawl and index Google sometimes up to 200,000 times a day.
Mhm.
Um, in each one of these cases, we're not scraping Google. We're taking a screenshot of the page and we're reverse engineering the page after the fact,
Mhm.
so that we're not bogging down the search engines. But what that also has done is created a massive library of every layout Google has ever tested.
Hmm.
So we
Well,
can see them roll out one industry and test it in one industry, and then they might roll into another one. A lot of Google's changes aren't internet wide; they're done to specific industries or specific verticals that they're trying to, change the behavior of or whatnot. And so we are seeing a lot of different templates that Google is running where they're throwing different things into the mix. We also see lower engagement rates by customers on those searches. So when the page is all discombobulated, we also see a lot of customers doing another search, instead of digging through this pile of crap that's everywhere. So although they are testing a lot of things, and I'm seeing them do all sorts of stuff, I think like everybody asks me what my biggest fear is that all of page one of Google becomes paid ads. um, right? So, but at the end of the day, people would stop using Google, is what they're proving. And
yeah.
and so as we see these different layouts, so I mean, there's probably 140 different layouts that Google is testing right now today in different industries.
Wow. And I'm guessing with varying degrees, trying to optimize how many paid ads they can insert on the page so they can
Totally.
make money, right?
Yeah, like I mean, if you look at maid services right now, if you look up house cleaner, near me or something, you can actually see the paid search results are sprinkled throughout the entire page. But that's not the case if you were to go do gutter repair near
Hmm.
me. Yeah, you'll see if you scroll down that page on Google there, you'll see like halfway down the page, there's going to be two sponsored results and they'll be like kind of
Uh,
sprinkled throughout the organic. But that's the only industry it's doing that in right now.
hmm.
It's
That's
not doing
good.
that in other ones. So there's always different layouts that they're testing, but every time they've done this, they've seen a decrease in engagement as soon as they start selling too much paid.
Wow, interesting. Yeah,
So
but
believe it
so
or not, the customer is actually the number one factor on Google, not Google.
and consumer behavior, that's good. We like that because otherwise it would be all paid ads, as you mentioned. Uh,
Totally.
if they could beam those paid ads into our brains, they would do it in a heartbeat.
I'm sure they already have that with Neuralink.
Yeah, I'm sure they're working on that already. Yeah, they probably patented that at least. So Russ, let's land the plane a little bit. This has been great content. I love I love how your brain works, just the amount of data that you use to fuel decision making. If I'm let's talk about we've actually done some searches together today. We typically don't do that, but we've done some just to kind of illustrate points. If I'm one thing that I've done, and I'm curious your thoughts on this, is I'll actually Google specific things like ask questions to Google and then use it to then find out what citations are they using to answer that question, and then try to reverse engineer why that's becoming a trusted source for this AI engine, then try to replicate it and repeat it and then eventually replace it. Tell me, like, are these strategies or what strategies would you recommend brands are implementing to try to kind of reverse engineer and figure out what's driving the AI algorithms to then put these recommended sources or services out in front of themselves?
I mean, first and foremost, it has so much more to do with your own website than everything else. Like we're trying to solve something that isn't solved the way we're trying to solve it, right? Like we're not looking at our own house first and saying, is my house clean and organized before I try to get the AI to come to it? Because once again, if your website sucks and it's just, it's crappy, it doesn't matter how many times the AI hits your site, it's not going to serve you up. It's too complex. And so I think we need to focus on ourselves first. Second off, though, what you're doing is great, Dave. I mean, if you see that Reddit is really popular in your market, like go answer people on Reddit. Now, be careful though. Like I've got a brand who I've got five of their franchisees who are the tech guys of the brand, right? 170 location brand, but you got five who are the tech guys. They've gone out and hired a company to do these Reddit posts. Well, it's really easy for Google to reverse engineer that the same Reddit profile is posting in different markets or in different industries, and they're always referring the same business. Once again, you're buying bad backlinks and you will get yourself suspended. So do it the right way. Like go out and offer to give somebody advice for free. That's what's going to get you in the Reddit section to where it actually matters to AI overview. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. And you can see all the sources that they're looking at. Those are extremely important. Like I said, I was doing the search earlier today and it told me that online image wasn't mentioned this way in enough franchise magazines. So I'm on the phone with PR right away saying, "Okay, guys, we got to figure this out because this is really frustrating me." But I did just ask it why, and it told me what it was missing, and it made sense. I did look up those other brands that were above me, and they were on those magazines, and so it did matter to the AI. And so after I validated that, then I said, "Okay, let's pay for these publications."
Yeah. Well, I think a word I would use to describe you and the way you approach life is you're curious. Like you're always trying to figure out why it works, how it works. I'm sure you drove your mother crazy when you were younger, Russ, but it feels like now is a really good time to become very curious again, to like investigate what's working and ask questions and even ask AI, should I spend money on your ad platform and have it tell you no? But ask AI like how it came to the, you said this earlier, but I want to highlight it. When you find that you're not in the search result, ask them why. Like, hey, why did you choose? Why is this person getting highlighted versus me? And often AI can give you a decent answer about why.
Yeah, it really can. I mean, I will tell you that if one more person Googles how to do SEO and comes to me and tells me what I need to do, I'm going to lose my crap. Because at the end of the day, though, you got to be careful, right? Like, I've got guys who are saying, how should I be doing my SEO, right? Well, the number one factor in SEO that nobody talks about is trust.
Hmm.
You can't fast forward trust. So there is no AI overview that's going to answer that question in a way that makes you happy, right? Because there's parts of it. So it's great to do the research and be curious with the AI, but also, I mean, think about it. If 100,000 people today went and said, "How do I rank number one on Google?" There's only one number one spot, so it's only going to work for one of you.
Hmm.
Not the answer. Like you have to have a differentiating factor that's the secret sauce behind it, right? But yeah, there's definitely a lot of research you can do in there and finding out. And like to your point, I mean, is this a good industry for me to advertise in? The AI told you no, don't spend money on me.
Hmm.
So it is pretty cool the way it does a lot of that.
Yeah, I love that. Well, guys, so Russ, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, because obviously they can sense there's probably a lot more you have to offer than just what we talked about today. What's the best way for someone to reach out to you?
I mean, reach out to me directly. You can reach me out through email. My parent brand is freeflowingsolutions.com. You can reach out to Russell at freeflowingsolutions.com. It also has a list of the other brands that I have equity in. Each one of those businesses are separate entities. They're all separate investors, separate business partners, separate payroll. They
Mhm.
are individual businesses, but that's the easiest way to see all the stuff that I've got my fingers in right now.
Nice. And I'm assuming you're pretty active on LinkedIn as well. If somebody wants to find you there. Yeah.
Absolutely. See me
Awesome.
on there too. So yeah, I appreciate it, Dave, and I love being on here, man. So appreciate it.
Yeah. Glad to have you. Thanks again, Russ.